To the Ben Shapiro Show. Joining me today will be Josh Klubnik and Vice President Frank Underwood. And we'll be getting this with just me and Josh Klubnik for now because Frank is running quite late. He has vice presidential things to do. And yeah, any comments so far? That was a good song. Not gonna even lie. Josh? Okay. How you doing, Josh? What was that?
I'm okay.
Oh, all right. So it's unfortunate Frank can't be here in the beginning because we have a lot of things to cover and it's going to be quite hard. So one of the main things I'm wanting to cover with this episode is the failure of presidency so far by Eric Scott. Oh, I just got a question from the comments. Not on Israel. Well, currently with the whole Israel standing, IRL and Endgame, I'm a very big supporter of Israel, and I believe that it should have the right to the land that Palestine wants to take from it. And I think when it comes to all of that, I think Israel is in the right. Sure, them killing civilians is not all right in any circumstance. That is not all right. But mostly, I'm a very big supporter.
I think I can agree with you. I also support Israel in that situation.
Free Jerusalem. Okay. Okay. Anything else, Jefferson? I will take anything from the comments. Because I believe that kind of adds some more closivity to this whole thing for now until Frank gets here. So I believe we got some live listeners. Yeah, we're doing quite good there. Yeah, so we can edit, and also if you'd like to send this to me, Josh, I have an editing software. I can edit every part that we don't want in, and yeah. I believe that Joey would be a decent guest. No, I've not been to any Israel dance parties. The only thing I've been over recently is a Passover, unfortunately. Hey, let's see if the Speaker of the House would like to join us. Would you like that, Josh?
It's up to him.
Oh, a speaker. You're welcome to join us if you wish. Oh, he can't. Okay.
No.
Oh, I guess he can join us. All right, how you doing? Oh, I see why he can't join us. Okay. All right. Well, once he gets quiet, he can start talking. But till then, we'll just continue going with the audience.
All right. So, your question.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, we got more. Okay. Well, if you're listening in right now, we're taking questions from the audience before we get started. Can I ping the parties to see if they have any questions for the podcast?
No.
Can I ping? Okay, my feelings. All right.
Cope.
Cope. Okay, I guess that's something I can go on a tangent about. I am so sick of seeing Cope. It's pissing me off. Along with Bingus, along with Zingus, and ugh. Okay, what do I think about immigration, both legal and illegal? Well, honestly, with the whole immigration issue, I think that you should come to this country legally. I don't think it is okay in any circumstance to come to this country illegally. With that being said, I think that if you actually need to save your life and you're coming to save your life, then it's understandable, but it's moral. But then it comes to the circumstance once you come into this country illegally. If you abuse the system, then there you go. That is not okay. If you're abusing our rights and American God-given rights that are in this country, then I believe that is not okay. But if you're coming to this country to save your life, then that is understandable. And then once you come into this country, then try to come in the right way. And I genuinely believe that there is no way in hell that our people would just kick them out just because they're illegal. I think that's silly to say. That's with the whole border crisis. We're keeping these illegal immigrants, and we're technically saving their lives. So why not just make it easier for them to become citizens? They're a waste of money if they're just sitting here illegally. So we need to make them legal immigrants. I'm perfectly okay with legal immigrants personally.
I also agree that if you're going to come to America, you should do it legally. If you're not going to do it legally, then you should not be allowed to come to America.
Yeah, but like, what do you think about them like coming in to save their lives, life and death? Like,
Well, I think we have special things that are in place for people who come and claim asylum, and those should be followed. Um, but if you're just coming to the country, then you should be allowed to as long as you do it legally.
okay, I just got a question. And what do I think of white nationalism? I don't see it. I don't see the purpose of it. I don't think race should even be an issue. I think it should all come down to culture or your origins of your characteristics. I don't care about your skin color, or I don't even care. That's just beyond. That's beyond what I care about. You know. And like I find that very like I don't know the whole like nationalist stuff is a little curious to me, but that's coming from my middle of the road standpoint. But yeah, what do you think?
Um, personally, I think that's a decent. I don't see why we should be divided based on race in America. It should be all you're American citizen. You're not divided by race. You're just a citizen. So I don't think that that's a real specific.
So maybe okay. So just got another question. How do I feel about a cultural appropriation? I honestly think that all culture should be allowed in America because this country, like we don't even have like one language that makes our country. We're like five different languages. So it'd be silly to just say, oh, we're just one culture. No, I think that like many cultures are in this country because if you go to the southern area of this country, it's gonna be way more southerny, way more like old down, like go low. And then if you go to like the Midwest, it's way more chilled, laid back country people that are corn fed. Or if you go to where I live, it's very Native American, Hispanic, and like very prideful in where the origins of they came from. And yeah, um, yeah. So let's see. Anything else?
I think we should get started on the topic.
Okay, so one of the main topics that I'd like to bring up is the failure of Eric Scott's presidency. So as it's been seen, he's already got us into one of the biggest conflicts we have been in the past 40 years. Like 40 years ago, I believe, or more, give or take some change. We were in or it'd probably be even more long 50 years ago. We haven't been in a conflict with Russia. Sure, we've had our little back and forth, but this is going to be a very let's what's the word for it?
Ugly.
It's going to be
That thing.
exponentially terrible. It is not going to be okay for anybody. Nobody's going to be winning in this situation. Even Russia, like, oh, we're going to revenge our lost president. Still, they're not winning or they're not losing. So pretty much, it's lose lose for both sides. And I think that it's silly. And sure, it wasn't okay for us or for us to supposedly kill the Russian president. Supposedly, like I'm going to say, it's not 100% of a fact. Um, it's not okay for us to supposedly killing the president. And I think it's even sillier that the president Eric Scott released anything on it. Like,
I agree. I think it should have stayed classified to whatever did happen. And
it's
then any other information should have been talked about with the administration instead of just releasing everything.
it's what you'd consider a threat to national security. And currently, and I hate to say it, under our administration, Russia was below us. They were not as good. Okay,
Debatable.
no, so they were nowhere close to us because they were still so thinned out and broken. Because you realize they had a whole
Well, yeah, because
they
they broke down in the middle of your presidency, so it kind of made it easier for you to be higher than them. Where now they're kind of more united.
yeah, I can agree with that actually. But well, so at the same time, the only reason that like we didn't want to do anything because of China. China honestly kept them pretty. They just kept us. They just kept us at like a stalemate.
I agree, but I don't think you can really be compared because one of them, the country was in ashes, and the other one was united. So I think the circumstances are different, so they can't be compared properly due to that fact.
It's just kind of crazy considering Russia's right now pulling a Germany 2.0.
Yeah, you could say so.
You know, it would honestly be so scary if they expanded all the way into Europe.
It would be, yes. Another thing that I've noticed with the Scott administration is he doesn't trust his cabinet. I've heard the Secretary of Defense stating that he brought up plans just in case of a war to possibly break out, and Eric basically told him any plans would be trash. It just
I
shows
know,
the
Eric,
distrust
and well,
in.
can you blame him though? Last time he had a whole cabinet, they all tried invoking the 25th Amendment on him in 2021
I mean, fair, but at the same time, I feel like it's much more united now.
because of the Democrat Party is no longer united. As we've seen.
Well, the unloyalty to the Democratic Party, they're in the party for the numbers and the votes, not in there for the party. And that's why I
Yeah.
feel the issue with that party going.
See, it's just I still can't believe it that a lot of progressives are switching to the Republican Party, and a lot of the Republicans, like every Republican that's a Republican has stayed, and that's what's kind of weird to me is I don't understand what's happening with the parties. It's very controversial.
Very true, very true. It is controversial. I think that once you join a party, you should stay semi-loyal to that party, unless
Well,
that party has something that you dislike that you leave for that reason.
exactly. Well, so I don't understand why Bill Ante, like even him, I don't understand why he didn't stay in the Green Party. But also I do because the Green Party, if you think about the Green Party, you think about the Democrat Party.
Very true, yes.
Okay,
I think
so
I can agree with that.
Jefferson, if we look in Jefferson, Dave would like to have a comment. What do you think of this? He'd like to join us on. Should we give him like 10 minutes to speak? You think that's pretty fair? 10 minutes is what you got, man.
Five, five
Five
to
minutes.
ten.
What do you think? So what do you want to know?
You said you wanted to speak, so go ahead.
I so can you give me the current situation? So we're at war with Russia, right?
Oh
So
no,
the whole current.
tensions are
So
high.
yeah, because the president released a classified document that the past administration supposedly killed one of their presidents in before the current president. Yeah.
Oof, that's not a good look at
Yeah,
all.
and he released the information out of spite against the past administration, and that's the biggest issue with what happened.
I think we should leave them alone. I think we shouldn't intervene. I think we should not intervene in Europe at all, really. In anything, I think we should just worry about America.
So you're an anti-interventionist? I can get behind that.
Very anti-intervention.
Well, why is that though? They're our allies. We could piggyback off of them, and they piggyback off of us. Like, what's wrong with it?
Um, well, I think that yeah, especially in this situation, it could pull us into a very dangerous, very deadly conflict, way deadlier than any war we've ever seen. And that's just not worth the benefits of having some allies.
Well, some allies is most of the world.
I mean, yeah, but what could they give to us that's worth going to war with Russia and let's say hundreds of millions killed?
I think hundreds of millions is quite a stretch unless it went nuclear, honestly.
I'd say solid at least hundreds of million globally, but I would say at least 5 million in America.
So let me ask you what was the
At
worst action
least
in this.
that's a
So let me ask you this: out of the two actions that happened, the past president supposedly killing the Russian president before the communist president, or the president that leaked the fact that we supposedly did this and getting us in this situation, even though no other situation came about it. What do you think was the worst action?
Could you say that again? My bad.
Okay, so the president that supposedly killed the communist president, or the president that leaked the fact that we could have killed the president, and then that made Russia mad over it. Because no, Russia was not mad at us. We were actually at very decent tensions.
Yeah, but I mean that doesn't deflect the fact that we killed the president, or we did we? That's the thing.
Nobody knows honestly, but Russia believes we did
Uh,
because of the leak.
that's a tough spot because I'd have to know if we did kill him or not.
Exactly, but the president posted it as if it was a matter of fact we killed their president.
Uh, well then why should we shouldn't have killed him? It's our fault.
But and if you look in the screenshots, there is no clarification. But it's crazy how we're in this situation with Russia over a leak, over a spiteful leak, actually.
Yeah. Can you explain how they're like how Germany used to be? You mentioned the fact that they're going to pull a Germany 2.0. What do you mean by
Well,
that?
so if you go to events, they're currently doing an expansion.
Oh, okay.
They've taken over a couple nations already, and yeah, they're trying to take over the whole of the let's see, European Union. They legit want to take over Europe.
I think we should let them do their thing. I don't think we should intervene in that. It's not our job. That would lower tensions, in fact, if we just let them do their thing.
But you realize that then there'd only be three superpowers besides in the Middle East of this country. I mean, of this nation, of this world, and it would be Russia, America, and China, and maybe India, and that's that. You don't want just four world powers. You want it to be a mix, and that's the beauty of it.
I don't care about how many world powers there are. I care about how America's doing. I don't think that any alliance, in fact, or any amount of world powers is worth the loss of American life.
Why is that?
Any amount of loss of American life because of interventionism is too much. I don't care if it's 1 or 20 million.
I don't see the logic. Like I see the logic behind not wanting to lose American lives, but why not keep strong with our allies?
You see, I actually agree with him here, and let me explain to you why. So, if we had to intervene with a situation for the safety of an American life, that's one thing. But in the situation that possibly could have come from this, there's no reason for us to be in it. And I think if we did do it, it's 100% our fault, and we should take responsibility for that.
Yeah.
But so we just allow Russia to expand the whole of Europe,
Yes, we allow them to do their thing.
but then this would just be a Holocaust 2.0, and like this, I don't see this going good for anybody.
A Holocaust 2.0.
You realize
You're
that
gonna
could be
say this is
slaughtering.
bad. You're gonna say this is bad, but I don't care. I'm elected to serve America. You're elected to serve American lives, not the lives of Europe.
But you're also elected as president to
You
serve
aren't
Europe.
responsible. You aren't responsible for the people of any other nation except for America.
Well, let me ask you this: do you believe in tradition?
Yes.
Okay, what did every past president do?
Not like traditional president. I believe in like traditional values.
And okay, what is tradition? Because every president for the past. Okay, I think we're on our
I don't.
first
I don't
president in
even.
this
I
server.
like by tradition. I mean
Mr. Shapiro,
monarchy.
let
That's what I
me
mean by
explain.
Because
Go
let me
every
finish my
president,
statement real quick. Every president, every past president, has helped our allies. So if you truly believe in tradition, then this should be no issue if we've helped our allies. And I'll let Josh
That's not
continue.
what I mean by tradition. When I say tradition, I mean monarchism.
Oh God! So then, okay.
Go back farther than past presidents. The monarchy, the best
So,
government ever.
okay, do you handle this, Josh? I'm just gonna listen in.
well, I think if a country attacks our allies and our allies call on our help and we are close enough allies to the country, then we should support some sort of aid in any way. But if the ally,
I support I don't support really any aid because then that gets us drawn into the conflict in some way or another.
well, I think if we do support aid, it should be a type of World War II aid that we were supporting to the allies before we got involved with our military.
That's another reason why we got called into the war. Japan was mad because we embargoed them.
Well, I mean, true, I agree that is part of the reason why they attacked. But I think if we supply them aid in resources, it's not calling for us to get into war. But if we get attacked, then we defend our people that were killed in the attack or a close ally if needed.
But then here's another thing that gets overlooked a lot of the time. Once they start losing, and we supply them all the stuff that they're supposed to pay back. Who's going to pay it back when they fall? then you get drawn in. Then you have to jump to be able to make a profit on the stuff that you gave to them.
But he's still, I just don't see it's a responsibility as a president and as a world leader, and you're part of this world. This world is the only world we have, and we shall not
You
let
aren't
it fall.
responsible to any other nation except for your own.
You're not. You're responsible to do your duties as a president, though, and that's what
Yeah,
comes to
your
the part
duties
with
as
the
a
duties.
president is to protect your own people, not anybody else.
Okay. So I hate to tell you, but this comes in the description of the president. Okay, the description of the president is to uphold the military as a commander in chief. Okay, and help with foreign affairs and do some domestic. The main domestic commander is the vice president, along with the president pro tempore.
I think the role of president should be changed then.
Then you don't believe in tradition. Like, that's not tradition.
I don't. No, I do believe in tradition. I believe in monarchism.
That's not tradition.
Yes, it is. It's far past being a president. It's a long time ago.
Tradition is from 1776 and up.
That's not true.
That is American tradition. Yes, that is American tradition. That is conservatism at its best.
I'm not a conservative.
What are you?
Fascist.
Okay, that is even worse. All right. Because I'm not even a conservative myself, and okay.
If that's how it's gonna be, I'm the only conservative here. Oh,
I believe in what Mussolini wanted.
Ugh, gross.
Mussolini was a great leader.
That's just. So do you not believe in the Constitution?
No.
Oh my God! If you don't like it, okay. What do you think of America right now? What do you like?
I think it's dead.
Okay, if you don't like it, okay. Are you American yourself?
Yes. I'm more of a Southerner than American. I feel like I have more pride in my region than my nation at this point.
Well, explain to me.
How America's dead. The rise in atheism, the rise in liberalism, globalism, progressivism, riots.
I'm sorry if this sparks something for you, but if you don't like America, then you can get out. Go to somewhere that's monarch.
I'd rather fix my nation.
No.
Fleeing isn't an option.
If you don't like it, man, you can just get out. Go to a place that's monarch.
I don't want a monarchy. I want a dictatorship. I just said that monarchy is like my
Okay.
my
God.
my ideal system is fascist. It's a dictatorship. My pragmatic ideology is monarchist.
Tell me why our system doesn't work compared to a dictatorship. I don't understand.
Because we allow too much stuff. We allow too much freedoms. We allow people to walk all over us until it's too late. Like
that's
now.
Individual liberties. Like you right now, you have the right to be
I don't believe in individual liberty.
Right now, you have the right to bear arms. Right now, you have the right to say whatever. Right now, you have the right to own property. Right now, you have the right to be who you are. Okay, I'm gonna have to kindly ask you to leave then. If this is
no. I'd rather fix it.
Yeah, man, I hate to say, man. Yeah, thank you for coming on though and giving a somewhat radical input in, but we don't believe in these ideals personally.
You should.
Okay. Have a good day, man.
You too.
All right, next guest is going to be Speaker James Barry. But before we let him on, I'd like to say, Josh, what do you think of that interesting character?
I think that what he said, yes, I may not agree with it personally. It's his freedom of speech.
That he somewhat doesn't believe in.
That.
No. So
True,
we're going to treat him the same.
No. Shapiro, like you said, you have freedom of speech, and even though you may not believe in it, you still live in America, which means you still do have that freedom. Whether one person believes in it or not, you shouldn't treat somebody.
I'd love to see him,
like they don't.
A guy like him, just like people like him. Like he should go to North Korea and see what a true dictatorship is like, and see what true freedoms that are gone. Like I want to see him crumble. Like at that point, it's retarded. But okay, well, welcome on, James. How you doing?
Thank you. Good to be here. Good to be here.
Really good
Glad to
to have
have
you.
you.
I'd like to go back to how you said that there's no winning for anybody in this type of situation that the president has put us in.
I
Um,
don't. Yeah.
you are correct technically that we cannot win military wise because the union that they're forming in Asia and Southeast Asia, yeah, there's no way that we could take it on full like just manpower. But here's what we can do. We can release a lot of more economic freedoms upon our corporations in America, take away the restrictions that they have and everything, and then we can fight them economically. Because if you look at the 1950s, we were the economical powerhouse of the world. All right, the communists weren't even a close second. The only reason why they were like successful for that long is because of the amount of terror and lack of human rights they had inside of their uh, countries. And the way that their economics were set up was that the government controlled everything. That's why, in a short amount of time, communism can be successful. But when it's stretched out for over 70 years, it's going to collapse, like it did in the 1980s and 1990s. So
Exactly.
what we have to do in America to make it so we can take on China, Russia, and all the other allies that go on, we need to lessen the restrictions that we put on our corporations. We don't need to do anything military wise. I firmly support what the Secretary of Defense is trying to do, but he needs to stop. Like I understand his intentions, I understand why he's trying to do it, but we need to focus on the economics.
Yeah. So with the
And,
with the
and,
whole
and
Ukraine situation, what Russia did to the Allies when their allies took a stand with Ukraine, Russia legit cut off Germany's oil with tons of tariffs and made their oil cost way more and hurt them economically. I don't see this happening. Like you're saying, we could legitimately hurt Russia and China economically.
yeah,
Yes,
and
we
that's
could
the way
because
we take them down. Because
and
when you
another
look
thing
at
too.
the
Another thing to
economics,
oh,
sorry, President
no, go
Pro
ahead.
Tempore.
Go ahead.
Whenever you look at the statistics, we are China's biggest buyer. Not Germany, not Britain, not France. It's us. And if we just cut off everything from China, it might cause a man war or tensions to rise. But guess what? American businesses go up. Private, private, privatized sales will go up, and
It'd
all
be like
the
basically,
corporations and all the corporations in America will start being American made again. And that's the whole purpose of America, economical freedom. You have the freedom to do what you want. And sometimes people may not agree with that, but that's their opinion. And guess what's so great about America? You get to have your own opinion.
and
All right?
basically us doing that to Russia and China would be the biggest middle finger ever. Oh yeah, you're gonna threaten us militaristically. We're just gonna ruin you. Yeah, that's what I
And
thought.
and
And
and just to
the
cut in real
only
quick,
problem, I'm sorry, you can
uh,
go ahead.
just to cut in real quick, kind of like what Austin was saying before. Yes, America is China's number one trader, but also other countries that are top traders with China, we are close allies with that we could trade with, and our economy would boom while they cut off China, and China's economy will fail
And
because we have Vietnam.
another thing is that yes, inflation will always be a thing. We can try our best to limit inflation, but since prices have gone up since like the 70s, and it's going to be more expensive to make American goods again, but it's a small price to pay for a greater nation for tomorrow. So, my question to you, former President Shapiro,
hmm
is that should we remain the top, like, should we remain as the strongest military nation, or should we lay back on the military and start focusing on our economics again.
Guess what?
Because
There's a way to get both.
yes, there may be a way to get both, but you cannot have your cake and eat it too.
Well, I don't see. I could see there could be a gray area. You know, we could have a fantastic economy and a fantastic military standing, and still be a world power, and still be an economic world power, and still mitigate everything that's happening in the world. I think that is a huge opportunity we can't take. But the only issue is have is we have a president that's only giving people $60,000 to $73,000 a year. So I just don't see that happening.
The only problem with the Social Security Act is that it's ran by the government. All right, that's a huge problem. If it was privatized and sent up to the private charities that want to help people, actually, so many people will benefit more. Your healthcare prices and everything that's medical related will go down drastically. Those prices will go down like it's gonna be a rocket heading toward the earth, but it's gonna be in a good way. All right.
All right, so we're going to continue this on to the next episode of the Ben Shapiro Show tonight. We are filming 2 episodes tonight. One's going to be full of James Bear. James, what do you think of that?
I'm all for it. I'll gladly see you in the
All
next
right.
episode.
All
All
right,
right,
and this.
we'll be taking a 5-minute intermission between episodes, so feel free to stay, feel free to leave, but we'll be back within 5 minutes.
Alrighty.
I'll just start singing randomly. Should I? I don't know. Okay, Craig.